so sorry. Have you been waiting long? Okay, good. I was worried. Do you have an appointment? Okay. Let me look here. Okay, what is your full name? Okay. Yep, I have you here. And can you just verify a phone number for me? Okay. And we didn't get an email when we booked your appointment. Do you want to add one? We do send typically your full write up and your invoice, so it would be helpful. Okay, what is it? Okay, perfect. And do you have your ID with you? Okay, I'll just need to see that. Thank you. And I'm just gonna add your ID information to our portal, okay? Photo ID. Okay. Okay, and the address on here, I know that you are obviously purchasing a new home and you're getting your insurance for that today, but is this still going to be a good mailing address? I'm assuming this is your old house that's listed on here. Okay, do you have maybe another mailing address, or we can just list the one you're buying? We wouldn't really send anything immediately, so okay, what's the new address again? Sorry, I know we have some documents here. Okay, go ahead. And the zip code. Thank you. All right, and you are the sole owner? No co-owners? Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to give you your ID back there. Thank you. All right, so looks like you're here today for the purchase of your homeowner's insurance and potentially home warranties. Okay. And who's your real estate agent? Okay, Melissa. She's great. We like her. She's really good. Okay, let's see here. And then let me just retype that address. You said Musgrove Pines Boulevard. What was the house number again? And could you just repeat the zip one more time? Alright, so we have approximate value of the home $850. Okay. No knowledge that you have of prior flooding of the property. Okay. Are you aware if it is located directly near a body of water? And I know the report's going to show some of this, but we actually have to ask as well. Okay. No. Great. Okay, not located in an area of wildfire concern. any protected wildlife areas on your property? Future property. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's correct. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 covered. Okay, and what's your estimated date to close? Okay, March 9th. Are you doing a virtual or are you doing an in-person close? That's great. So you're going to fly out there? Very cool. And you've already been to see the house, obviously? Okay, that'll be your second time. That's cool. Alright, so let me just look at some of the paperwork really quick. Okay, just give me 1 second. It shouldn't take me long. I just need to do a review of a couple items really quick. I think we do, yeah. Yeah, we got your report. It was pretty quick, actually. I was very impressed with that. Okay, so once I go through a couple of these documents, I'll go through your homeowner's inspection report with you. Okay? And it's just the parcel land use, single family home, no additional residences located there. Okay. And what's the approximate size of the land? 7 acres. Okay. I think we had, I'd have to look. Let me see. .87. Okay. Okay, and no liens currently against you. And do you plan to use any part of the property for farm use? Okay. And are you selling your other home? And this will just be your primary, that one will be your secondary, or this will be your only home? That's what I have. Okay. Alright, that's right. So we're just gonna move this one to secondary home. And what's your social security number? And your date of birth. Is there currently a deck on the property? Okay, there is. And do you have any pets? Okay, and what kind of dog? Just one, right? Okay. Let me see if we have your reports. I have a couple. To this one. Alright, so I'll just go ahead and get started with the purchasing documents for the insurance. I do have your homeowner's insurance for your home inspection here. So as you can see, these are the list of items that we inspect for our insurance purposes. Just your general exterior roofing, of course, structural, electric, HVAC, your plumbing, and then of course all of the major rooms of the home. Yeah. So that's a really normal inspection lineup. Okay, so this is going to be your report that will contain all of the findings, okay? So I have it as a single family, as you said. Okay, just to let you know, this is our full disclosure, and I will just have you go ahead and sign this. And here is a pen. Thank you. All right. So, general overview, you can see that we did list everything here as satisfactory, and I'll give you this whole report after, but I do want to show you a few things from it. So we did have concerns about the grading levels of the home. There were two areas specifically, you can see them in these pictures, where the red arrows are pointing. And here, where the grading was not enough away from the home. And there's reasonable risk that there could be some flooding there. So we would just suggest for your purposes to backfill some of that, and just to prevent damage or moisture from that area. It will not impact the ability for us to insure the home, just letting you know, but I'm going to just write these down for you. Okay, there's some other areas you can see here. No action needed, just letting you know. And do you intend to backfill those areas and have that landscaping done? Okay. And do you have a reasonable time frame, like 6 months, first year? Okay. No, we don't need to see it. You can just give us a call and let us know. When you do those things, it does help us to decrease your insurance premiums. There was a slight hole here by the rear of the house where the basement would be. It could be an animal burrowing in. See, it's just pretty small, but I would recommend just filling that as well. Okay, retaining walls and steps of the home were satisfactory. They look very good. Okay, so we're going to move into the exterior of the actual structure. Overall, it is satisfactory. Brick, obviously, vinyl, aluminum. Yep. All the railings also looked great, so no major concerns on this part of the home. There's pictures here if you want to see the exterior. No exclamation points. Everything looks fine. Okay, so on this part of the exterior, we did notice that some of the window caulking needs repaired. There's photos here. So if you see anywhere on your report one of these little exclamation points, that's an area we have concern regarding the insurance, where there could be water damage, structural problems. If it's orange, it's one of the ones that I would recommend that you fix, but it's not going to stop us from actually insuring you. If it's red, then it's a major problem and we could deny insurance on it. Or if you wanted to proceed, we would opt into the insurance, but our contract would opt out of anything related to that. If you were to fix it, then you could call us, and at that time we would just update that, but we would have somebody come out for anything red to verify. Okay, so I'll write this one down. Do you intend to update the caulking on the window frames? Okay, I'll make a note. There's a couple areas here. It wasn't enough to actually get a exclamation point, but I'll just flag them for you again. I will mail you a copy of this report. So, all right, all your railings are satisfactory. There were some areas we recommended repair, and the gate here is not fully. So we do have an orange one here. It's a gate, so you don't have a pool, so we don't actually care if you have a gate or a fence, but it's just for your reference. This will not change any premium status, okay? I'm just going to give that a little note for you. Here we have some more recommended caulking on the window areas. Your lock on the exterior of your front door does show some wear. It is a little bent, so just recommend that. That's a friendly reminder. Doesn't impact the insurance of the home. Okay. Garage looked fine. We do recommend adding extensions on your rain spouts just to take it further away from the house, but again, friendly recommendation. Okay, so that includes the exterior. Do you have any comments, concerns about the exterior portion? Okay, I'll make a note of that. Okay, any other concerns on that section? So we did notice some cracks in the drywall in the basement. They do not appear to be structural. So, I've noted what you just told me, but I'm just recommending that these are kind of a big deal, so I would definitely do those. Okay, so those are getting repaired before close. Okay. And what's the approximate date for the repair? Do you know? Tomorrow. Okay, perfect. I'll update that so it's pulled out of the overall assessment for your total cost. Okay, that looks fine. Okay, so now we're going to move on to electrical section. Everything was satisfactory in terms of electrical. This is an overview of that for you, and recommend just taking a look at that if you're interested in what was reviewed. Okay, you'll have some pictures of the electrical components in the house, but again, everything was satisfactory. Okay. So you're adding a second mini panel for a hot tub. I do need to add that. Thank you for telling me. And is that before you move in? Okay, so that's 6 months away. So we won't include it right now. I added a note to your file. What I recommend is once it's added, please just go ahead and call us and tell us, and we'll go ahead and just put that in there just in case something was to happen and you're covered. Okay, so I'm going to move on to your HVAC. Approximate age is about 13 years old. As you might be aware, estimated life for an HVAC unit is about 10 years. So you're over that, but the good news is it was found to be completely satisfactory. So you don't need anything to do right now with that, but just flagging for you, it might end up needing replaced pretty quickly after move-in, just based on end of life for those systems. Okay. All filters and venting in the home for that. And same thing here, cooling, 13 years old as well. It's a 2.5 ton system, and it's hold on, this cooling due to weather operating. Okay, so yeah, both 13 years old. You're planning on replacing those within a year. Okay, I will note that. Actually, let me just go back to that section. went ahead and noted all of those items. Okay, so we are going to move into this plumbing section. Overall, everything's satisfactory for plumbing. For your knowledge, your water shutoff is located in the basement. There's a picture right here where you can find that. Your water heater is also 13 years old, 50 gallon. Yep, and it seems to be operating efficiently. So you might need a replacement at some point soon, but it's fine. Vents in all the bathrooms also are satisfactory. Okay. No issues with the bathrooms at all, so that's great. It's just some buildup on the toilets of lime from not being used for extended periods, since the house hasn't been lived in a few years. Oh, you've already replaced them. Okay. All the toilets? And how many total was that? 5. Alright, I've got that added. Thank you. Updating your quotes. Alright, great. So tubs are fine. We went through all of the bathrooms, so you can just look at the report if you want to see those. Living room, no issues with the carpet or the drywall. Alright. Any questions before we go to your kitchen? Yes. I'll show you. It's in a manual, so I have it here for you. This is our homeowner's manual, and I'll go over some of those with you in a minute. Is that okay? Okay. Okay, so for your kitchen, all of your cabinets are located here. You have pictures of everything. They are satisfactory, no issues in the flooring, and all the appliances in the kitchen were operating correctly. You have a list here of all the appliances that are being purchased as part of your home purchase. So you have your cooktop, oven, range hood, refrigerator, dishwasher, and garbage disposal. All were tested. And I'm just adding that stamp so you are aware. Okay, laundry also listed here at the bottom. Tested, no issues. It is an older washer and dryer. Okay, I'll make a note. And the other thing is, since I'm doing this list for you, I recommend taking this back before close to your realtor. A lot of times you can get a little bit of a reduction in the price or some assistance on some of the closing costs because of the items that were found. For the most significant ones, I would use the ones that have the orange exclamation points. Especially the ones that show the exterior flooding concerns, the cracks in the ceiling, those types of things. So it's related to structural integrity, so it can impact the cost of the house, and it's worth a try to get a little bit towards closing. Okay, so for the next interior, there is a window where the track appears to be broken. Here's a photo. Yeah, I would recommend just replacing that. There's a couple of them. This one, they still lock, but, and these two as well. Okay, I'll make a note of that. The caulking around the fireplace needs done. There is cracking just around the exterior perimeter there. It does not impact the structural integrity of the house since it's a connected structure to the wall. So it's not an exclamation point or anything like that. So, any questions about that? Okay. So you will have this back section. I'm not going to go over it with you because it's essentially a summary of all the things I just told you, and most of the things that I wrote down. So it's just going to have a page by page of a picture of everything that we found that we recommend any sort of action on or have concerns with. So I would use this section specifically to go back to your realtor and ask for a little bit more in closing costs. Okay. Any other questions about the inspection before we move on to your coverage? I'm just going to go ahead and add this to a mailing envelope, if that's okay. And I'm going to mail this to your agency where we'll have to also mail the attestation of your coverage, okay? And if they are not your lender, they will cover that with your lender. Okay, so I'm just gonna add that to the notes. Alright, so now that we've gone over all of your items, I'm just going to go into the coverage part of our appointment, okay? Just going to note that we did that, reviewed report. So as you saw, there was no red exclamation points, which means there's no critical concerns with insuring your home. Okay, so moving on to the next section there. Alright, so 2 items. I have 2 things. I have this is the coverage book for your builder. It has a lot of information in here. A couple areas I want to show you. If you have any questions on the actual structure processes, that is located in this section of the book. Utility line locations are on page 17. That's one of the biggest things people ask us about. If they're, like you said, you're doing the hot tub, you're going to need to know that. I'll put it down for you. So in terms of insurance coverage for general through your builder, not through us, it is on page 27 and everything is covered just here, and then there's a couple other additional pages. This has been taken into account on your coverage through us, so no action by you. Just want you to know that your builder does cover, let's see, where was it? There it is. It's 100% of the common elements and reserved common elements, and in the previous page here, it tells you what those are, but it is your typical like electrical, sewer, those types of things, and it is a maximum deductible of $10,000 or 1% of the policy fee amount. So we account for that within our coverage. So like if something happened, we know that this would at least be covered by your builder, and then we would have to assume the rest. So it actually helps to reduce your policy amount that you need to pay your out of pocket. $10,000 or 1%. Okay. Any questions there? So there is some info in here regarding your homeowners association, roads in the subdivision. Not a lot there, but just that they're not on you to maintain. And the square footage for your development's square footage requirements. Okay. So this is your homeowner manual, also given by them. So this is how to maintain some of the systems that we discussed in the home. And structural integrity. I would take a look at this, and you're having a couple issues on the exterior. But it does talk here about rain damage and certain trees close to the foundation, those types of items, okay? It also talks about you have electric heating and natural gas. It does talk about that here and how to have your systems maintenance yearly. It talks about your radon detectors, which are built into your home, your fire alarms, and then painting and exterior maintenance. For that, I'm just going to add to your packet a couple of things here. Okay, these are not anything that is required. They're just us letting you know they're available to you. The first is your cabinet maintenance and flooring maintenance. Little brochure here. It gives all of your warranty information for those. This is for your roofing. Your roof is 13 years old, so I recommend taking a look on what your warranty looks like. Most are 25 year, but that is all located here, and you'll see if you have to look at what roof you have, and it will tell you exactly what warranty amount you have. Your floors were done by Bruce Hardware Floors, and they are also insured. They are also warrantied. So depending on what floor you got, this brochure will tell you the amount of warranty coverage that you have. As any homeowner, you may have concerns about termites. This is a brochure on the ability to have a in-wall pest control system where they come and there's these little outlets on the side of the house and they can put things in there. I personally am paranoid about that amount of chemicals in the walls of my house. That seems a little sus, but to each his own. If you're interested, there are some resources here for you on what it is and how it's done, as well as guidance on which state you live in and who you could call. And then finally, your paint. Because of the size of your home, you are part of the preferred customer program for paint maintenance in your house. This has all of the information in here. There's a little brochure slide that talks about the interior paints, your exterior paints, your deck, because you do have a deck, and your maintenance on those. Because all of those have various care requirements and maintenance requirements and corresponding warranties. There's a little card in here from them for their corporate office if you want to contact them about anything you have questions about. Okay, so I went over those 3 items. It's time for us to do your quotes, and I can give you all of that information I have here. Before I get started on that, do you have any questions? Okay, let me just add that. Okay, so for the first year, you have coverage for home warranty, different than homeowners insurance. For $700, it's a promo rate. After the first year, it will go up to $1,200, and then you have a locked price for the next 5 years, and then it will be reassessed at that time. You want to do that? Okay, let me go ahead and add that now. So I'll go ahead and charge you for that. It is $700 even. Do you want to pay on a card? Okay. Thank you. Okay, there you go. And would you like this receipt emailed to you? What's your email? And I can text you your receipt too. What's your phone number? Okay, I've added that. So here is the flyer for your home warranty that you just purchased. I will put this with your pile of items. So it has your coverage details just here and here, just the overview. Down here it has any information on contacting them to get any repairs done. And then there's a website here that you can also use to submit claims. No questions on that, right? All right. So let me just get your final paperwork. Okay. So here are your final terms and conditions for your associated homeowners insurance with all of the discounts that we applied that you were eligible for, and updates to the pricing based on the repairs that you told me you were doing today. The total per year amount is $1,800 per year. Okay. Now, if you complete any additional changes to the home, please let us know. That will update. It can go both ways, so we just want to know what we're insuring. So here is an overview of our insurance coverage areas, okay? So if you have any questions, but this is all of these items here that you see listed are automatically covered. If your home was burnt down to the ground, completely destroyed, we would reinsure, rebuild for $1.3 million. I know that is significantly higher than the actual estimated value of your home, typically because even with the estimated value, if you leveled the home and rebuild it, it is more expensive than many times the estimated value. Okay, so that's just to cover you if something happened. Okay, so all of these items, you can kind of just review this for yourself, but we just like to give you a little one-pager of what you can expect from your coverage. I also wanted to give you this stormwater guidance. Most often we see concerns on flooding with stormwater. Because of the area you live in, flooding is not in your coverage. So we do recommend following up on these items every year to make sure that you are not at risk of flooding from a stormwater maintenance issue. Okay, there's also a couple other resources at the bottom. Alright, so finally I have your contract here where we'll get you to sign. Do you have any questions about your coverage or the $1,200 total? Or I'm sorry, $1,800 total. Okay. So flooding is natural flooding. If your pipes burst, for example, that in your house flooded, that is included. If your washing machine broke and there was some flooding, that is included. If you had a septic backup and your house flooded or your yard flooded, that is included. What is not included is if there's a weather event that causes mass flooding to the area. So that's the difference. Okay, in those cases, we refer to that as limited warranties. All of that can be reviewed here in your limited warranty handbook to show all of those concerns. Okay, so just feel free to take a look at that if you have interest. And then finally, this is the warranty request form. So you have your little cards that show where you're purchasing and what lot you have in your neighborhood. I love that. And then if you have any requests from us on warranty amounts for that, you can just submit this request form with the name of what it is, and we'll email you or mail you back and say this is what your warranty coverage is looking like for that. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to fill everything out here on your final contract. Okay. Okay, so I'll just sign that. And then I'm going to have you sign in two areas. Okay, the first one is just attesting right here to the fact that we talked today. I went over your homeowner's report with you. I went over all of your coverage and all of your warranties, and that you understand and you don't have any other questions. Okay, and then down here is just that you understand the total price of your homeowner's insurance and you don't have any further questions about your coverage at this time. Okay. Let me just add this to the computer, okay? And then you will be done. So you will have coverage from the date of move-in, which I have listed as March 9th. Is that correct? you opted to do homeowners insurance payment through your mortgage company, it will be wrapped into part of your mortgage. So, you have, let's see, it's approximately $260 a month. So, whatever your mortgage rate is, let's just say it's $2,000, it would be $2,260 with the addition of the homeowner's insurance charge. They will collect that, hold it, and then yearly they will disperse it as part of the annual payment. Okay, that's referred to as escrow. We will contact them if there's changes so they can change it accordingly. Your mortgage insurance will only change it once a year. So if we increased your homeowner's insurance halfway through the year, we would notify you by mail. It would not update with your mortgage company until the end of the year, and you may owe money at that time. It's not typical. They usually reassess annually and fluctuate. If anything, you might get a little refund check of a couple $100s a year if it, may fluctuate. Just like to let people know that. Okay, so I have everything in your file. I'm just emailing you a copy of everything right now with my phone number. Okay, and that end is certify. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and certify. This will be sent as part of your package. I have all of your papers here. And if there's nothing else I can help you with today, I really appreciated the time. And please reach out if you have any questions in the future. And congratulations on your new home.